Ninja Batman is a wild film full of larger than life set pieces, distinctive CGI animation, and ridiculous plot points. By the end, it was more of a fever dream than anything else, and I had quite a bit of fun with it, even if most of it didn't stick with me. However, there is one scene that's firmly planted itself in my mind. This pastoral sequence about halfway through the movie. Here, the Joker and Harley Quinn have lost their memories, and they're living out in nature as peaceful farmers. But when Red Hood eventually finds them, he attacks, refusing to believe that they don't remember who they are, until Batman appears and stops him. Immediately, the contrast between this scene and the rest of the movie is clear. The art style has entirely shifted to this seemingly hand-drawn and painted watercolor aesthetic that's almost sketchy in appearance. Meanwhile, the sound design has taken center stage, with no backing music to speak of. Instead, there's this dense layer of environmental sounds, birds and frogs shuffling through dirt and grass, a light breeze. And these sounds make this atmosphere feel so real and well realized. Of course, the scenery is a big part of this too, with these birds and a snake that move with a lifelike quality. Meanwhile, the painterly backgrounds are absolutely gorgeous, full of different colors that change as time passes throughout the scene. Both of these things, the sound design and general aesthetic, combine to make a scene that's so quiet and still and peaceful. However, there's also a tension there, as we cut from Red Hood, Joker, and Harley to the birds and snake I mentioned before. Here, the green birds represent the Joker and Harley, while the snake stands in for Red Hood, who's slowly closing in on his prey, waiting for the right moment to strike. And as the Joker begs for his wife's life, it's immediately odd. He's such a monster, and yet here, the presentation of this peaceful life of his is so believable that seeing it interrupted feels wrong. There's no sense that this is some sort of facade from him, that he's just pretending. No, the total shift in art style makes it clear that, at least in this moment, he and Harley believe that this is their life. It humanizes and grounds them and makes Red Hood's actions feel uncomfortable and decidedly brutal. Part of this is that when Red Hood finally tries to shoot the Joker, the art sells this as such a genuine and total break in the Joker's life now. As the whole world explodes with this messy style, his head splitting as two birds flutter away. The life he had is gone now, or at least it's fleeting. That's what this moment makes me feel. And from here, we get this continuous animation of the Joker staring at Batman, who has just saved his life. It's such an odd, striking style, and a moment that I instantly loved. The highlight, however, might be this soft conversation between the Batman and Joker, where the Joker talks about feeling cleansed as he works the fields. Here, the Joker seems so vulnerable and human. This total monster has lost his memories, and now he's truly not the same guy. And yet there's this implicit sense that he could slip back to his old ways. The soft, atmospheric music that swells throughout Batman's discussion, it totally sells this sense of longing mixed with a bit of sadness and hope. Like Batman knows that the Joker will return one day, but that it would still be wrong to interrupt this temporary bit of peace for this man. And when their memories suddenly return at the end of the scene and the Joker's laugh pierces through the peace, it doesn't just feel expected, it feels tragic now. And it's the presentation of this scene that makes that happen. And really, that's the whole reason I'm making this video, because to me, this scene is such a wonderful example of why presentation matters so much. It's one thing to say this was the dialogue in this scene or how it propelled the plot forward, but it's entirely another thing to craft a world that feels real and honest, to make something that you can just sit in and that is truly memorable for that reason.